तो नमस्कार दोस्तों, एक बार फिर से स्वागत है आप सभी का हमारे इस ऑफिशियल यूट्यूब चैनल में। आज की इस वीडियो में हम बात करने जा रहे हैं फास्ट एक्स पार्ट 2 मूवी के बारे में। जी हाँ दोस्तों, हाल ही में हमें फास्ट एक्स मूवी देखने को मिली थी, जो कि एक सुपरहिट मूवी थी। इस फ्रेंचाइजी में हमें 10 मूवी देखने को मिल चुकी हैं और 11वीं हमें 2025 के एंड तक देखने को मिल सकती हैं। तो सारी कुछ जानकारी इस मूवी के बारे में आपको देने वाला हो, तो वीडियो को लाइक कीजिएगा। चैनल पर नए हो तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिएगा, बेल आइकन दबाकर इसे ऑल पर सेट कर लीजिएगा, ताकि हमारी जितनी भी अपकमिंग वीडियो है उन सभी का नोटिफिकेशन आप तक पहुंचता रहे। तो दोस्तों, इसके बारे में हम जानना चालू करते हैं।
Fast X, also known as Fast and Furious 10, is a 2023 American action film directed by Louis Leterrier from a screenplay written by Dan Mazeau and Justin Lin, both of whom also co-wrote the story with Zach Dean. It is the sequel to F9, 2021, the 10th main installment, and the 11th installment overall in the Fast and Furious franchise. It stars Vin Diesel as Dominic Toretto alongside an ensemble cast including Michelle Rodriguez, Tyrese Gibson, Chris Ludacris Bridges, John Cena, Nathalie Emmanuel, Jordana Brewster, Sung Kang, Scott Eastwood, Daniela Melchior, Ritchson, Helen Mirren, Brie Larson, Rita Moreno, Jason Statham, Jason Momoa, and Charlize Theron. In the film, Toretto must protect his family from Dante Reyes, Momoa, who seeks revenge for his father's death and the loss of his family's fortunes. With a 10th film planned since 2014 and a two-part finale planned since October 2020, Lin was confirmed to return to direct with the main cast attached. The film's official title was revealed when principal photography began in April 2022. Lin left as director later that month, citing creative differences, though he retained writing and producing credits. Leterrier was then hired as his replacement a week later and performed several uncredited rewrites to the screenplay. Longtime franchise composer Brian Tyler returned to score the film. With an estimated production budget of $340 million, Fast X is the 8th most expensive film ever made. Filming lasted until that August, taking place in London, Rome, Turin, other Italian cities, Lisbon, and Los Angeles. Fast X premiered in Rome on May 12, 2023, and was released in the United States on May 19, by Universal Pictures. The film received mixed reviews from critics, with praise for its action sequences and Momoa's performance but criticism towards the writing. It grossed $714 million worldwide, becoming the 5th highest grossing film of 2023. A sequel that reportedly serves as the final main installment is in development and scheduled to be released on April 4, 2025. Plot: Dominic Toretto and his team are requested by the agency to steal a computer chip during its transit in Rome. Dom and his wife Letty Ortiz stay behind with his son Brian Littleby Marcos, while the rest of the team, consisting of Roman Pierce, Tej Parker, Hen Lu, and Ramsey, travels to Rome. A wounded Cypher arrives at Dom's home in the middle of the night and informs him and Letty that Dante Reyes, the son of drug lord Hernan Reyes, has turned her crew against her and is using them to target Dom as revenge for his father's death and the loss of his family's fortune 10 years prior. The next morning, when Dom informs Little Nobody of the Rome mission, a stupefied and confused Little Nobody says that there is no agency mission in Rome. Dom and Letty realize that Dante set them up and they go to rescue the team with Little Nobody. In Rome, Tej and Ramsey break into a truck which they believe is carrying the computer chip. However, Dante begins remotely controlling the truck, and Tej and Ramsey realize that a DM-79 subnautical neutron mine is in the storage. Dante activates the bomb and releases it into the streets. Dom arrives and pushes it into the Tiber River, minimizing the damage, but Letty is arrested. Agent Ames, the agency's de facto leader since Mr. Nobody's disappearance, believes that Dom and his team are responsible for the bombing and begins a manhunt. In Los Angeles, Dom's brother Jacob rescues Little B and MIA, his and Dom's sister, from a squad sent by Dante to kidnap Little B, and with MIA's approval, takes Little B to a secret location in Portugal, where they will await Dom. Mr. Nobody's daughter, Tess, is convinced of the team's innocence and uses God's ID to find Dom in Naples, informing him that Dante is in Rio de Janeiro. There, Dom confronts Dante and meets Isabel Nevish, the sister of Little B's late mother Elena. Dom later challenges Dante to a race, along with Isabel and his ally, Diogo. However, Dante wins while killing Diogo and injuring Isabel. Tess visits Letty at the black site and covertly wounds her to send her to the prison's treatment center, where Letty meets Cypher. They discover the black site is located in Antarctica and they must work together to escape. In London, Dom's team turns to Deckard Shaw for help, through the convincing of Hen after a scuffle between himself and Deckard. Dom gets caught in Rio by Ames, but they both get intercepted by Dante on the same bridge where Dom killed his father. Tess gets shot by the sniper and Dante steals the God's Eye from Tess. Ames joins forces with Dom to fight Dante. Dante locates Little B in Portugal and kidnaps him. As Dom is cornered by mercenaries, Jakob sacrifices his life to take them all out, allowing Dom to rescue his son. Dante again corners Dom and his son, just as Roman, Tej, Han, and Ramsey arrive by plane to aid Dom. Realizing too late, Dom orders Roman to turn the plane around, but Ames, revealed to be working for Dante, shoots down the plane. Dom drives off the edge of the dam they are on to avoid another trap, but Dante has the dam rigged with explosives and arms them. In Antarctica, Giselle Yashar, who was presumed dead, emerges from a submarine to rescue Letty and Cypher. In a mid-credits scene, Luke Hobbs infiltrates an abandoned theater with a team of agents where he is contacted by Dante, who tells him that he will be his next target for killing his father, with Hobbs replying he is not hard to find. Cast. Main articles, list of Fast and Furious cast members and list of Fast and Furious characters. Jason Momoa plays Dante Reyes. Vin Diesel as Dominic Toretto. A former criminal and professional street racer who has retired and settled down with his wife, Letty Ortiz, and his son, Brian Marcos. 6. In an interview, Louis Leterrier described Fast X as exploring the fallout of Dom's actions in previous installments, saying Dom has fought so hard to keep faith and protect family, but there is a price to pay. His enemies are coming after him. 7. Michelle Rodriguez as Letty Ortiz, Dom's wife and a former criminal and professional street racer. 6. Tyrese Gibson as Roman Pierce, an ex-habitual offender, expert street racer, and a member of Dom's team. 6. Chris Ludacris Bridges as Tej Parker, a tech expert, mechanic, and a member of Dom's team. 6. John Cena as Jakob Toretto, Dom and MIA's brother and a master thief, assassin, and high-performance driver who once worked as an agent for Mr. Nobody. He has since reformed into a kinder person, sharing a loving relationship with his nephew, Little Brian. Nathalie Emmanuel as Ramsey, a computer hacktivist and a member of Dom's team. Emmanuel said that the character would see increased involvement in Fast X compared to the previous films. Jordana Brewster as MIA Toretto, Dom and Jakob's sister and a member of Dom's team who has 2 children with her partner, Brian O'Connor. 6. Sung Kang as Hen Lu, an expert drifter and member of Dom's team who previously faked his death during a covert operation for Mr. Nobody. Scott Eastwood as Little Nobody, a government law enforcement agent who worked under Mr. Nobody. 6. Daniela Melchior as Isabel Neves, 8. A Brazilian street racer and the sister of Dom's former girlfriend and Little B's mother, Elena Neves. 9. Alan Ritchson as Ames, the new leader of Mr. Nobody's agency who is covertly working with Dante. 10. In early drafts, Ames and Dante were brothers, and Ritchson revealed the film's plot twist was filmed alongside another ending, saying, Ames wouldn't care if his methods made him feel like he was a good guy. 11. Helen Mirren as Magdalene Queenie Elmanson Shaw, the leader of a female militia and an ally of Dom, as well as the mother of his former enemies Deckard and Owen. 12. Mirren drew inspiration for the character from her aunt, also nicknamed Queenie, and from her performance as Queen Elizabeth II in The Queen, 2006. 13. Brie Larson as Tess, Mr. Nobody's daughter and agent who allies with Dom and his crew. 14. 15. 16. According to Diesel, Larson drew inspiration from his daughter, Pauline, for the character. 17. Rita Moreno as Abuelita Toretto, 18. Dom, Jakob, and MIA's paternal grandmother. 1920. Jason Statham as Deckard Shaw, a former opponent of Dom and his team, who became an ally and new member after saving his son. Deckard's younger brother, Owen, was hospitalized working for Cypher. 21. Jason Momoa as Dante Reyes, the son of drug lord Hernan Reyes, seeking revenge against Dom and his crew for the death of his father and loss of his family's fortune in Fast 5, 2011, 22-23. Momoa described the character as Dom's foil, 24, saying Dante is very sadistic and androgynous and he's a bit of a peacock. He's got a lot of issues. He's definitely got some daddy issues. 25. Momoa expressed a desire to play against type when portraying Dante, taking on a less macho character. 26. And he performed his own stunts for the film. 27. Charlize Theron as Cypher, a criminal mastermind and cyber-terrorist who was previously an enemy of Dom's team. 628. Leterrier described Cypher as the devil, and speaking on her dynamic with Dante, Leterrier said, "They are bad news, but one is more afraid than the other. One is worse news than the other." 729. Gal Gadot and Dwayne Johnson reprised their roles from the franchise uncredited as Giselle Yashar and Luke Hobbs during the final scene and mid-credits scene, respectively. 30-31-32. Joaquin de Almeida reprises his role as Hernan Reyes, a ruthless drug lord and Dante's father, from Fast 5, while Leo Abello Perry portrays Brian Littleby Marcos, Dom's son. 33. Luis da Silva reprises his role from Fast 5 as Diogo, a Brazilian street racer who allies with Dom and his crew. 30. For making cameo appearances are Brazilian singer Ludmilla as a race starter in Rio de Janeiro. 35. Pete Davidson as Bowie, a friend of Ramsey. 36. Paul Walker's daughter Meadow as a flight attendant helping Jacob. 37. And Debbie Ryan and Josh Dunn, credited as themselves, as a couple in an airport. 38. Production. Development. Justin Lin, who directed 5 films in the franchise, originally returned as director of Fast X. In November 2014, Universal Pictures chairwoman Donna Langley said there would be at least 3 more films in the Fast and Furious franchise after Furious 7, 2015, 39. In April 2017, producer Neil H. Moritz stated that the 10th entry would serve as the finale for the franchise with Chris Morgan attached as screenwriter. 40. In October 2017, Justin Lin entered negotiations to direct the 9th and 10th installments after directing for films in the series. 41. In February 2020, Vin Diesel hinted the film could be split in 2, 42, which he confirmed in an April 2021 press conference, stating, "There's so much ground to cover and so many places in so many locations that we have to visit as the rationale behind the decision for a 2-part finale." 43. Prior to production, Diesel announced filming would take place in Italy, stating, "I was asked, would there ever be a Fast where you could film in Italy? And I promised we would." 44. While Morgan ultimately did not return as screenwriter, it was confirmed he would serve as an executive producer on the film, alongside Joseph M. Caracciolo, Jr., David Kane, Amanda Lewis, and Mark Bombach. 45. By April 2022, a new screenplay draft was written by Lin and Dan Mazeau. 46. On June 5, 2022, Tyrese Gibson announced Fast X would see the franchise going back to its roots, with reports indicating this to be a return to street racing elements of previous entries. 47. Although shared details, the film would also continue to explore the history of the Toretto family in a similar vein to F9. 48. Leterrier later revealed the film focuses on increased familial responsibilities, saying, "Dom was always a lone wolf. He was living a quarter mile at a time, but the stakes are real now. He is responsible for a human being, an innocent life he brought into the world." 29. Gibson also expressed a desire for the franchise to film in South Africa, stating, "Me and Luda always had this idea that it's time for us to head to South Africa. It needs real estate in this franchise because it has a beautiful skyline with ocean. It's the Fast and Furious package." 49. Ludacris later stated his favorite franchise filming location was his home city of Atlanta, Georgia. 50. And revealed that he did not anticipate returning to the franchise after his initial appearance in Too Fast, Too Furious, 2003, 51. During an August 2022 interview with Comic Book, Nathalie Emmanuel said the stakes are higher on a more personal level in this film, indicating a more grounded approach compared to previous installments. 52. In developing the character of Dante, Leterrier revealed they wanted to forge the anti-Dom, saying, Dante is the yang of Dom's yin, the antichrist of his Christ, and wanted to give Dante clear motivation with Dom's role in Dante's origin story, noting, there are strong ties with Dante and Dom, and that is what makes an amazing villain because you understand why they became this and their motivations. 29. Leterrier noted Larson's character as also being influenced by the generational legacy of the characters, saying, everybody in the franchise has a different point of view on Dom and his own influence on their lives. And that's how she fits in. 29. Describing the film's retcon of Fast 5, 2011, Leterrier said it was to explore the price of justice, noting, we Rashomon-ed the fifth film to experience it through the eyes of Reyes, with Dom and Brian the thieves. We wanted to guide the audience to rethink everything they've experienced in the franchise because a good antagonist has their own truth, separate from the protagonists. 29. Leterrier noted the film touches on each previous installment, saying, the snowball of Dom's actions has picked up speed and became an avalanche, and said his favorite film in the franchise is Fast 5. 29. Leterrier later revealed he performed several uncredited rewrites to the entire screenplay on his initial travel to the set, stating he lacked sleep for the first 4 days he worked on the film. 53. During the film's early promotional run, Leterrier said Fast X explores the potential breakup of family, noting people are going to need to take sides and alliances will need to be made, compounded by the war brewing between the characters, saying there will be some tremendous casualties. 54. He later confirmed the film will end on a cliffhanger. 55. And further hinted at character deaths, saying, the beauty of the end of this franchise is understanding these characters will not live forever. Only in westerns do cowboys gallop out into the sunset. This is different, the stakes even more than they've been before. 56. This was seemingly confirmed by Michelle Rodriguez, who considered the fan reaction to the ending, saying, you're going to feel so cheated in a way, but then so gratified and excited about what's to come. After 23 years of making films, it's really tough at this stage to shock me, and they got me good. 57. She reiterated this in a promotional interview with Collider for Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Among Thieves, 2023, saying the ending of Fast X would leave people really surprised and we're going to get open mouths at the end. In the theater, I was like, oh my god. What have we done? 58. In an interview with Collider, Universal Pictures producer Kelly McCormick stated the impact of COVID-19 and the production schedules of our interfering projects, like Fast X and its sequel, caused delays in developing the sequel to Fast and Furious Presents, Hobbs and Shaw, 2019. 59. Filming in Turin required the film commission Torino Piemonte, local authorities, and city councillors to conduct a 5-month planning schedule from September 2021 to January 2022, collaborating with the departments of culture to coordinate the city's major events, roads and transport, public, and security around filming requirements. Such planning included managing the overflight of drones and limitations on circulation made necessary for the management and safety of the set. 60.
दोस्तों इसी के साथ मैं आपको बता देता हूँ इस मूवी के बारे में। इस मूवी की जो रेटिंग है IMDb वो 5.8 की है 10 में से, जो कि ठीक ठाक रेटिंग है। और साथ ही साथ इसी के साथ रेड टमाटोज़ की बात की जाए तो लगभग 55% की इसकी बढ़िया रेटिंग है। बाकी OTT राइट्स के बारे में बात की जाए तो आप इसे जियो सिनेमा पर देख सकते हो। जी हाँ दोस्तों, इसके जो OTT राइट है वो जियो सिनेमा ने खरीदे हैं। यदि आपने सब्सक्रिप्शन ले रखा है तो आप इसे सीधा जाकर एक तरह से जियो सिनेमा पर देख सकते हो। बाकी और भी कई प्लेटफॉर्म है, जैसे कि आप G5 पर इसे 99 का एक तरह से पेमेंट कर कर आप इसे देख पाओगे। Amazon प्राइम पर इसे 119 रुपये का एक तरह से पेमेंट कर कर देख पाओगे। साथ ही साथ यूट्यूब पर यदि आपको इसे देखना है तो 180 रुपये पेमेंट इसका करना पड़ेगा। साथ ही साथ प्ले मूवीज़ पर ही सेम रेट है। और साथ ही साथ दोस्तों जियो सिनेमा पर आप इसे फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट देख पाओगे यदि आपने सब्सक्रिप्शन इसका ले रखा है तो दोस्तों आज की इस वीडियो में हमने इस मूवी के बारे में सारी कुछ जानकारी दी। साथ ही साथ इसके एक तरह से जो थोड़ी और जानकारी इसके कलेक्शन से रिलेटेड वो मैं आगे आपको बताता हूँ।
Fast X is the first film in the series to feature electric cars, with leaked set photos featuring the 2024 Dodge Charger Daytona SRT Banshee concept and the gull-winged DeLorean Alpha 5. Other vehicles set to feature include the 2022 Touareg Dodge Charger RT, the 2023 Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat Red-Eye, and the 1970 Charger RT, the latter a franchise staple. 61 On June 27, 2022, it was reported Fast X would include the fan-favorite orange and black Veilside Mazda RX-7 FD Fortune, which first featured in the Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift, 2006. 62 The inclusion of the electric Dodge Chargers in the film was confirmed upon release of the first trailer on February 9, 2023, with the Grays of Thunder Dodge Charger Daytona SRT also appearing in other promotional material. In an interview with Fox News, a Dodge spokesperson said the company has a long-standing marketing partnership with Fast and Furious, which will continue with Fast X. 63 Other vehicles expected to feature in the film include the foreign-made Lamborghini Gallardo, Alfa Romeo 159, Nissan Silvia, Porsche 911 997 GT3 RS, Pagani Huayra Tricolor, and the Datsun 240Z, as well as the U.S.-made Chevrolet Impala and L. Camino, Lenco Bearcat armored vehicle, and the 1966 Ford Fairlane. 64 In an interview with vehicle coordinator Dennis McCarthy, who worked on every Fast and Furious film since Tokyo Drift, 2006, each significant car featured on screen required around 7 duplicates, resulting in an estimated 200 cars built for Fast X to race car standards required for the stunt work. 65 In April 2023, Momoa revealed that he personally contacted Jocund Sites, the CEO of Harley-Davidson, to secure 6 motorcycles to be used in the film for his character. 66 He is seen riding the Harley-Davidson Pan America throughout the movie, which was modified with an upgraded exhaust system and extra shielding. 67 Casting. Jason Momoa, Daniela Melchior, Brie Larson, Alan Ritchson and Rita Moreno joined the main cast for Fast X. In June 2021, Diesel announced the film would be split in a 2-part culmination to the franchise, with principal photography slated to begin in January 2022 and take place back-to-back. 68-69 In December 2021, Dwayne Johnson ruled out returning for Fast X, and labeled an Instagram post by Diesel asking for his return as manipulation. 70 With publications indicating he was referring to a feud with Diesel stemming from Diesel's role as an executive producer on The Fate of the Furious, 2017. 71-72 He ultimately reprised his role as Luke Hobbs in a mid-credits scene cameo appearance. 31-32-30 In early 2022, Jason Momoa was cast as Dante, the villain, 22 while Daniela Melchior, Brie Larson, and Alan Ritchson joined the cast by that April. 9-14-10 Keanu Reeves was originally approached to play Ames, having been previously in talks to join the franchise with the role of the Etienne director in Hobbs and Shaw, but plans shifted and Ritchson was contacted about taking over the role while filming Ordinary Angels, 2024, an offer he considered and accepted once production on that film was halted because of the announcement that the biggest blizzard in Winnipeg's history was coming to the set. 73 Larson was initially hesitant to join another franchise after the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, saying, "I was scared of what would happen to me by joining Fast and Furious. But what I always come back to is, I have to live with myself in a way that nobody else has to. The choices I make, I have to live with, whether I regret them or not." 74 But stated Fast and Furious was her dream franchise, saying, "I've been begging to be in this for years. Being part of something you've watched your whole life and that you love is an amazing feeling." 75. In a March 2023 interview with Total Film, Larson revealed she would portray Tess, the daughter of government agent and covert operations team leader Mr. Nobody. She described Tess as a bridge, saying, "She doesn't go along with the agency. She believes in the legacy her father set up, standing with Dom and the Toretto family." 76 Describing Momoa's addition, director Louis Leterrier said Dante is an incredible new character. "It's 1000% Momoa." 77 While Michelle Rodriguez said Dante is malicious but he can be playful. "It's like a fresh energy. There's something charming about him. 78. She later labeled Dante as the best male villain in the franchise's history, describing him as revenge with a smirk. 79. After being cast, Momoa was initially apprehensive over filming conditions due to reports of conflict on set between Diesel and Lin, 80, and said he accepted the role to play against type. 81. In May, Rita Moreno was cast as Abuelita, the grandmother of Dom, Jacob, and MIA, 19, with Leterrier describing her inclusion as the guiding light that Dom is following, adding, Abuelita is his conscience, she is one of the people that keep him grounded. When your grandmother you haven't seen for years gives you a message that becomes guiding for the second part of your life, you listen. 29. In a February 2023 interview with Collider, Moreno's grandson said he pitched for her inclusion in Fast X after he met Diesel at the premiere for West Side Story, 2021, which starred Moreno. 82. On December 23, 2022, it was revealed that Gal Gadot, who portrayed Giselle Yashar in 3 previous installments, filmed a scene for Fast X. According to social media reports, she appeared in one of 2 versions of the film screened 3 days prior, with further details about the nature of her return undisclosed. 83. Gadot's potential return was met with mixed reception by fans and critics. Some criticized the franchise's history of reviving dead characters to capitalize on star power, labeling it ineffective fan service which negatively impacts the previous installments and the story of the franchise. 84. 85. 86. Others were positive about Gadot's potential return, citing her portrayal of one of the franchise's most popular characters. 87. In a February 2023 interview with Comic Book, Kang refused to rule out Gadot's character being resurrected in Fast X. 88. As the final cast rounded out, it sparked debate that it could create a story problem for the film. Writing for Screen Rant, Ryan Northrop said, with such a large cast, it's uncertain whether Fast X will be able to serve every character in a satisfying way. With many new and returning characters, every arc may not be as fleshed out, and if new characters aren't given much screen time or development, it will be a disappointment. It may be up to the finale to rectify it. 89. A month later, a leaked email from The Hollywood Reporter revealed some crew returned after principal photography had completed to film a button or tag, a mid- or post-credits scene, that will feature a guest cameo. 90. Gadot and Johnson ultimately reprised their roles in cameo appearances. 30. Rodriguez and Diesel later said Gadot's return had been planned for previous installments, going as far as to film unused cameos, with Diesel reasoning the decision to include Gadot in Fast X was done because it fit the film. He also said, doing tags is tricky because you want great talent, but at the same time you have to be very careful to maintain the emotional state of your audience. 91. Several actors who were reported to be reprising their roles from previous films in Fast X did not end up doing so, including Michael Rooker as Buddy, 92. Cardi B as Lisa, 93. Don Omar as Rico Santos, and Tego Calderon as Tego Leo, respectively. 94. Following the release of the film's trailer on February 9, 2023, Leterrier hinted archival footage featuring Paul Walker from previous films may be used in Fast X, saying, Brian is very much alive in this franchise. This film jumps back and forth between the past and the present. You will see Brian in the past, you won't see Brian in the present. His family is part of this franchise. It has to be the right moment, the right tone if Brian has to re-enter the franchise. It must be as perfect as how he left. 95. Regarding Walker's inclusion, Rodriguez said, it's really hard to make the films without a blessing of some sort from his family because it's everything. Without that kind of like that love from them, we would be lost. She also revealed Furious 7, 2015, is her favorite film in the franchise, citing its emotional tribute to Walker. 96. Diesel similarly commented on Walker's potential inclusion in the film in a March 2023 interview with Total Film, saying, Universal made a bold, righteous, and daring decision to keep Brian O'Connor alive. I couldn't image this saga ending without truly saying goodbye to Brian. 56. Filming. Principal photography began on April 21, 2022, with the film's title being revealed and Michelle Rodriguez, Tyrese Gibson, Chris Ludacris Bridges, Jordana Brewster, Nathalie Emmanuel, Sung Kang, and Charlize Theron confirmed to reprise their roles. 628 according to Diesel, an earlier draft excluded Brewster's character, which he overturned. Fast X's production budget was initially reported to be $300 million in May 2022, which was revised to $340 million that November. The cast was reportedly paid $100 million for their involvement, 97 including $20 million for Diesel. 98 other costs for the rising budget, which factors in tax incentive offsets, included increases in production costs caused by global inflation and charges for pandemic testing requirements mandated by COVID-19 safety protocols. 99 according to unnamed sources reporting to Radar, Diesel reportedly stressed over the increased budget and the creative decisions in Fast X. Sources wrote Diesel is considered by Universal as simultaneously the greatest star they've had and their biggest headache, and that Diesel doesn't let anybody forget how the Fast and Furious franchise is important to the whole film industry. 100. A week after filming commenced, Lin exited the film as director due to creative differences, leaving primary production stalled. However, Lin remained on board as a producer. 101 later reports alleged that Lin clashed on set with Diesel, who purportedly arrived out of shape, was often late, and did not remember his lines. 102 Lin was also upset with rewrites to his screenplay, as well as changing filming locations and one of the film's villains having yet to be cast. 97 A disagreement with Diesel reportedly escalated to the point it caused Lin to shout, "This movie is not worth my mental health." 103 Lin reportedly forewent pay in the region of $10.20 million in his departure. 100 for second unit production remained ongoing in the United Kingdom while the studio sought a replacement director. 105 Universal Pictures reportedly spent $1 million a day to pause production. 106 former Fast and Furious directors F. Gary Gray and David Leitch, who previously directed The Fate of the Furious and Hobbs and Shaw respectively, were considered by the studio to replace Lin, however neither were likely to step in due to their commitments with Lift and The Fall Guy, both 2024, respectively. 107 108 Furious 7 director James Wan, who was once considered to direct The Fate of the Furious and F9 but declined due to his straining experience on Furious 7, was also considered a viable option but was tied with commitments to Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, 2023, the final DC Extended Universe, DCEU, film. 108 109 Variety reported hiring an A-list director was not probable without drastic changes to the screenplay, and Universal would likely turn to a second-unit director well-versed in big-budget action films. 108 On May 2, 2022, Louis Leterrier was announced as Lin's replacement. 110 He was previously shortlisted by Universal to direct The Fate of the Furious. 111. Louis Leterrier replaced Lin as director a week after filming began. Leterrier already had an established relationship with the studio, having previously directed the MCU film The Incredible Hulk, 2008, and he was knowledgeable about the franchise. 112 He and franchise star Jason Statham went to watch the original film in Paris in 2001 while on a break from filming The Transporter, 2002. 113 Leterrier joined filming in London after scheduling and contractual considerations were confirmed. 114 115 He later revealed he initially rejected the offer to direct the film, labeling it a massive task. 53 Although later used elements of Lin's original contributions, such as the established crew, as well as Lin's shot lists and storyboards, to complete the film. 100 for production in London concluded in mid-August, with scenes filmed at Warner Brothers Studios, Leavesden. 116 Rodriguez later revealed a fight sequence between her and Theron was shot without a principal director, being done while studio negotiations with Leterrier were ongoing. 57 Ritchson initially thought he would lose the role of Ames upon being informed by producer Jeff Kirschenbaum about the directing change, but was quickly reassured by Kirschenbaum that he was still cast and that he would just not collaborate with Lin. 73 Describing his style for the film, Leterrier said, "I'm more practical than other directors, and I brought the franchise back to earth," revealing he favored more practical stunts, including a return of racing scenes featuring a vertical quarter-mile race, enhanced with visual effects. 117 As opposed to the extensive use of computer-generated imagery, CGI, in the recent installments. 54-29. Filming took place in Genzano di Roma 118 in mid-May. Filming took place in Rome for 2 weeks in mid-May, 119 and 1 week in mid-July, 120 with scenes being shot at the Via Cristoforo Colombo, Lungo Tevere, Via di Fori Imperiali, Ponte Umberto I, Ponte Vittorio Emanuele II, and the area around the Castel Sant'Angelo and the Spanish Steps. 121 filming then took place in Turin between May 24 and June 6, with action sequences filmed at the Piazza Crimea and Corso Fiume, Murazzi del Po, via Roma, and the Piazza Formaggio. 122 Momoa began shooting his scenes on May 16. 119 Like previous installments, Diesel supervised writing and design of the film's action sequences, according to unnamed sources to The Hollywood Reporter. Diesel's creative control and frequent last-minute changes reflect a process which is like a mosaic that doesn't stop moving, labeling him demanding and a perfectionist. 103 On June 6, it was reported a stuntman was injured in an accident after being hit by part of a car after an explosion. 123 On July 22, in an interview with Deadline Hollywood while at San Diego Comic-Con, Rodriguez announced she had completed filming her scenes and said only 4 or 5 weeks are left in production. 120 For filming in Angelino Heights, the location of the Toretto house, faced protest from some local residents after production gave notice of the filming of a sequence which would involve simulated emergency services activity, aerial photography, wetting down of street and atmospheric smoke. According to those residents, the protest was to raise awareness for road safety education, claiming the franchise caused their neighborhood to become a hotspot for fans to engage in street racing and other dangerous activity. 125 Filming managed to occur following the protest on August 26, 126 while other portions were filmed in Portugal, such as in Lisbon, Almada, Viseu, and Villarreal. In an interview with Lusa news agency, Conselho Azevedo, the mayor of Viseu, announced filming would take place on I-5, a highway in the Vizela municipality. 127 Ritchson finished filming his scenes by August 16, 128 and hinted at flying cars in the film, stating we're going to take it to the sky. 129. The first single for the film's soundtrack, Let's Ride, was released on February 10, 2023, performed by YG, Ty Dolla $ign, and Lambo 4OE. The soundtrack features hip-hop, pop, reggaeton, electronic rock, and rhythmic Latin tracks. The second song from the film, Won't Back Down, performed by Youngboy Never Broke Again, Bailey Zimmerman, and Dermot Kennedy, was released on May 4. The soundtrack of the film was released on May 19, by Artist Partner Group. 134. In March 2023 during post-production, Brian Tyler was returned to compose the film score after he previously scoring some of the film franchise starting with the third installment The Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift, 2006, 135 The official score album was being released on June 2, 2023, by Backlot Music. 136. Marketing. Parts of Fast X previewed at Cine Europe in Barcelona in June 2022, including a first look at Jason Momoa and Brie Larson. Speaking of the film, Universal Pictures International President of Distribution, Veronica Kwan Vandenberg, stated the studio's drive was to continue to cater to the diverse tastes expected from the franchise. 137 At the 2022 Griot Awards, Tyrese Gibson stated he watched the completed film on October 20, 2022, describing it as crazy with just too much magic, and announced an extended version of the film's trailer would first premiere at Super Bowl 57 on February 12, 2023. 138 This was seemingly confirmed in a December 2022 social media post by Vin Diesel, who wrote the trailer was less than 2 months away. 139 and was made it official in January 2023 post. 140 In a January 2023 report by Collider, it was confirmed the first trailer would debut worldwide on February 10, 2023, after being screened at a private fan event a day prior. It was 3 minutes long, 141 and was followed with a Super Bowl spot alongside Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Among Thieves, Cocaine Bear, Scream 6, 65, Air, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and The Flash, all 2023. 142-143 beginning February 1, to promote the release of the trailer. Official recuts of the trailers of each of the previous 9 films, dubbed legacy trailers, were released daily in conjunction with IGN. 140 for the fan event took place at L.A. Live in downtown Los Angeles, being hosted by Maria Menounos and featuring Diesel, Rodriguez, Gibson, Ludacris, and Cody Walker, the brother of the series' longtime initial star Paul Walker. 145 similar fan events also took place in Mexico, France, and Japan but did not feature the cast. 146. On February 1, the film's teaser poster was released, depicting Diesel alone in the center, bowing his head and clutching a cross between his fists on a dark-to-light backdrop. Writing for Collider, Sophia Cozzi said his positioning depicts an intense prayer with the small amount of light from the cross engulfing his fist acting as the optimism in the dark. She also said that the relative simplicity of the poster compared to the color explosion for F9 could indicate a grittier storyline in Fast X. Cozzi wrote the film's "The End of the Road Begins" tagline depicted a new level of intensity, and speculated it could refer to the end for some of the franchise's characters. 147 In an analysis by Matt Singer of WBUF, Singer described the poster as somber, noting it as remarkably tense compared to the posters for other entries in the franchise. 148 Stills from the film detailing Momoa, Larson, and Diesel's characters were publicly released on February 9, 149 and was followed by a teaser showcasing the main cast a day later. 150 The official trailer then released soon after. 151 featuring an orchestral flip of Notorious Thugs by the Notorious B.I.G. and Bone Thugs and Harmony from the former's album Life After Death, 1997. 152 The trailer was mostly positively received. Writing for GQ, Grant Reiner labeled the trailer glorious absurdity, stating it is as glossy and over the top as recent features. He commended the return of racing scenes, saying it restores the original feeling of the films, and said the music was an operatic nail-biter. 153. According to data from social media analytics company Relish Mix, the film's Super Bowl trailer, dubbed the Big Game trailer, clocked 94.1 million views across social media in the 24-hour period following the game. It was the third most viewed trailer that aired at the event, behind Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, 134.1 million views, and The Flash, 97.4 million. 154 It was the highest viewed trailer, which did not debut at the event, 154, but its view count was down from the 110. 9 million views received by F9's Super Bowl trailer in 2020, prior to that film's eventual delay. According to unnamed sources reporting to Variety, the first trailer accumulated an estimated 295 million views globally within the first 72 hours of release. 146 Instagram drove nearly 30% of views, followed by TikTok, 25%, Facebook, 22%, YouTube, 18%, and Twitter, 6%, with a majority of viewership coming in from international territories. Fast X also trended as the top topic on Twitter in the US, immediately after the trailer debut. 146 Similar to other Fast and Furious releases, Hot Wheels announced a themed basic assortment of cars set to feature in Fast X, which is set to be released with the film. 155. On March 14, 2023, the official theatrical poster was released. Writing for Collider, Aidan King positively reviewed the poster, saying the vehicles placed around the characters are similar to a high-octane drag race, indicating a return to the franchise's history as car-oriented films. He also noted the characters loom above the drag race scene, referencing the franchise's thematic shift away from car culture. 156 Two featurettes were released, first on March 31 and then on April 7, 2023, with the main cast giving a behind-the-scenes look, with previously unseen footage, at the production of the film. 157-158 An additional featurette highlighting Diesel and Perry's characters was released on May 5, with the pair and Leterrier providing commentary. 159. On April 19, the second full-length trailer and the film's official synopsis was released. It was generally praised by critics for its action and Momoa's presentation. 160 On May 2, a character trailer featuring Diesel and Rodriguez, titled Fast X, Open Road, was released. Writing for a film, Bill Breer described it as reflective. The trailer featured elements of Max Richter's On the Nature of Daylight and Dinah Washington's contributions from this bitter earth, which Breer said lent even more gravitas to the Dom Aletti highlight reel. He further praised the combination, stating visuals so nakedly frivolous and music so achingly earnest created an exquisite tension. 161 2 days later, the free-to-play 8-bit style game Fast X, Let's Race was launched online. The game features multiple top-down race courses set in the film's locations of Los Angeles, Rio de Janeiro, and Rome. 162 Diesel and Rodriguez then appeared in promotional spots at the 2023 Miami Grand Prix. 163 While in the United Kingdom, the film partnered with the Capital Radio Network to launch a competition for a listener to win a trip to Rome. 160 For the extended 4.5-minute final trailer was released on May 15. 165. On May 16, Philips announced a partnership with Universal Pictures in the Philippines, where one could win tickets alongside purchases of an Evnia gaming monitor. 166 Universal also partnered with Frito-Lay's Ruffles to create limited edition Fast X potato chips, which come with raffle tickets where fans could win a ticket. A lucky prize included the 2023 Dodge Charger RT 167. Release. Theatrical. Fast X premiered on May 12, 2023, at the Colosseum in Rome. 168 It was initially scheduled for release on April 2, 2021, 169 but was postponed to April 7, 2023, and finally May 19. 170 These shifts were reportedly made in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, which led to F9's eventual postponement to June 2021 that caused Fast X to be indefinitely delayed. 172 It was widely released in IMAX and other premium large formats including ScreenX. 170 For the film was cleared for release in China on March 28, 2023, marking one of the first large American films released in the country in 2023. Fast and Furious films have grossed over $1.2 billion in China since the release of Fast and Furious 6, 2013, and was one of the first countries where F9, 2021, was released, being 5 weeks ahead of its domestic release. 175. Home media. Fast X was released by Universal Pictures Home Entertainment on Premium Video on Demand on June 9, 2023, 176 on 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray, and DVD on August 8, 177 and on Peacock on September 15. 178 physical copies contain an audio commentary, behind-the-scenes featurettes, a blooper reel, and 2 music videos. 177. Reception. Box office. Fast X has grossed $146.1 million in the United States and Canada, and $568.5 million in other territories, for a worldwide total of $714.6 million. For 5 prior to its release, the Wrap estimated the film would need to gross $850 million worldwide in order to turn a profit. 179 Variety later reported that the film barely crawled into the black but would post a modest profit for the studio. 180. In the United States and Canada, tickets went on sale at midnight on February 9, 2023, a day prior to the premiere of the trailer. 173 According to a Fandango study, which surveyed over 6,000 ticket buyers between February and March 2023, Fast X was revealed to be the 6th most anticipated film of the summer. 181 In April 2023, box office projections estimated that the film would gross $65.75 million in its opening weekend. 182 By the week of its release, estimates had been lowered to $60 million. 183 The film made $28 million on its first day, including $7.5 million from Thursday previews. It went on to debut to $67 million from 4,046 theaters, topping the box office. 180 For writing for The Wrap, Jeremy Fuster predicted that Fast X may be less profitable than some of its predecessors, citing the film's sudden increased overall production budget, at 70% larger than F9, and the expected large marketing budget. 99 in its second weekend, the film made $23 million, dropping 66%, finishing second behind newcomer The Little Mermaid. 185 in its third weekend, Fast X finished in fourth place and made $9.2 million for a drop of 61% behind The Little Mermaid, The Boogeyman and Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse. 186. In the United Kingdom, tickets went on sale on May 5. 187. The film was projected to gross around $280 million worldwide in its opening weekend, including about $220 million from 84 countries. 183. Like its domestic debut, the film ended up slightly outperforming projections, making $252.7 million internationally and a total of $320 million worldwide. 188. It was the sixth best opening weekend for a studio film since 2019, and second biggest non-superhero title, behind Avatar, The Way of Water. 189. Its largest markets were China, $78 million, Mexico, $16 million, France, $9.6 million, and Brazil, $9.6 million. 190. The film set records for the highest opening weekend release for a foreign film in Pakistan, with 19.98 crore, $701,052. 191. Critical response. On the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, 56% of 310 critics' reviews are positive, with an average rating of 5.70/10. The website's consensus reads, "As irredeemably silly as it is satisfyingly self-aware, Fast X should rev the engines of longtime fans while leaving many newcomers in neutral." One Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned the film a score of 56 out of 100, based on 59 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. 192 audiences surveyed by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of B+ on an A+ to F scale, the same as F9 in the first film but below other installments. Post-Track reported filmgoers gave the film an 82% positive score, with 67% saying they would definitely recommend it. 184.
दोस्तों जैसा कि मैंने बताया ये रिलीजिंग डेट इसकी जो पिछली मूवी की है वो तकरीबन हमें 19 मई 2023 से यूनाइटेड स्टेट में देखने को मिली थी और इंडिया के अंदर भी इसे इसी डेट पर रिलीज़ किया गया था। साथ ही साथ इंग्लिश इसकी मेन भी इससे लैंग्वेज थी और $340 मिलियन के बजट में भारी भरकम बजट के अंदर इसे बनाया गया था। बाकी इसने जो कलेक्शन दिया तकरीबन मैं आपको बताऊं तो $714 मिलियन का कलेक्शन दिया, जो कि बहुत ही बेहतरीन कलेक्शन था। और दोस्तों आज की इस वीडियो में हमने इस मूवी की एक तरह से अगले पार्ट के बारे में जितनी भी अपडेट थी सारे कुछ आपको बता दी है। तो यदि आपको वीडियो अच्छी लगी तो लाइक कीजिएगा, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिएगा, बेल आइकन दबाकर से ऑल पर सेट कर लीजिएगा। दोस्तों आज की इस वीडियो में इतना ही, मिलते हैं अगले वीडियो में।